superstar. That's what you are. Come from far, reach for the stars. Run with me to another place. We can rely on each other.
Hey y'all, so today is my first day back to work. I've been off of work 19 days. I don't even know how to be a nurse anymore. Like, I'm nervous. I'm like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know, like, if people gonna be looking at me funny because I had the corona. I don't know. How I'm feeling. I feel good. I've been over here chewing on me a ginger root all day. I mean, all way to work. I drank me some medicine ball, which is a tea that I stole from Starbucks and made it my own. So I drank on me some tea. I already have one bottle of water. I'm gonna finish this bottle of water before I go into work. And you know, just pray for the best. This is gonna be my first time actually having to be up because I haven't had enough strength to actually be up for 12 hours straight. I do a little work, sit down, do a little work, sit down. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do this at work. So we'll see. Wish your girl luck. See you later. Okay, so today I'm back, and today is actually my second day of work. I'm getting off. I wanted to record how I felt after my first day, but I couldn't because I had such a headache. My headache was not COVID related. My headache was stress and anxiety related because the cat was out of the bag that I had tested positive for COVID. And how the fuck they know, I don't know. Obviously, I only told my manager, but because my manager, my assistant manager, and maybe the secretary, one of the other would loose lips. I'm pretty sure it wasn't my manager because most people don't really fuck with the manager because, you know, she's the boss, so people ain't really chatty Cathy with her, and she tries to keep it real professional. But at the end of the day, in 2020, you can't put nothing past nobody. So I don't know who let the cat out of the bag, but one of my co-workers flat out asked me, did I test positive? And because I'm a real ass bitch, I'm a real ass girl, and a lot of these people don't know the real from the fake. I'm not finna lie. We grown. Ain't no point in me lying. Like, you can tell I'm a little bit heated because they got me. They about to see that girl that's from Fort Myers, from the projects, Harlem Lake, Sable Palm. They was really about to get it. Like, I be trying to tell them I'm educated and I have a degree, but baby, don't take me back to the hood because I still live in the hood. I've never not lived in the hood. So if you want it, I will give it to you. But back to the story. My coworker finally one of my coworkers came straight out and asked me, did I test positive? And I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, so how many times did you have to test negative? And I was like, I never had to retest. And she was like, so I'm assuming that she probably told them that I didn't test back negative. But it's a whole fucking policy, and we're gonna go over the policies in one of these videos where, or I can even put it on the screen. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll figure that out when I edit the video. But it's a policy. The policy says symptomatic. I was considered symptomatic because I did have symptoms. Healthcare professionals who test positive for COVID-19, which is me, may discontinue home isolation and return to work under the following conditions. Condition number 1, at least 3 days, which is 72 hours, have passed since recovery, defined as resolution of fever without the use of fever-reducing medications and improvement in respiratory symptoms such as cough and shortness of breath. That's stipulation number 1. And stipulation number 2, be at least 10 days have passed since symptoms first appeared. I was out of work 19 days before I got back to work. Today is 21, but when my first day back to work, it was 19 days. Mind you, other nurses, I found out today, another nurse tested positive this week. So I wasn't even at work. So you can't even say she got it from me. It's in the community. 1. 2, I'm the first employee that y'all know of, but coronavirus done been around in the state of Florida, we know for a fact, since March. So you mean to tell me you think that I'm the first motherfucker to get positive with COVID and make it back to work? No. It was other nurses on the actual COVID floors that tested positive and they were quarantined. They had a whole unit out on quarantine and is back at work. So I'm just the first one that y'all know of. Y'all been working with these bitches for months that done tested positive and done came back to work. And the thing that pissed me off was, instead of them being like, oh, okay, we're so happy that you're not one of the 1.5 million people that have died from COVID, or the 3 million people or 2 million that's been hospitalized and have to go on a ventilator. We're so happy that your 3 kids aren't fucking orphans. So, and then the thing that really gets me is that we work in a hospital and we work around coronavirus, and you know that there is a possibility working in a hospital that you might be around somebody who tests positive for COVID. So why are y'all acting like this? Like, girl. So my homegirl who I went to high school with, she was like, act like we ain't talking about nothing. She was like, these bitches around here talking about you tested positive. So I came straight out and told her, like, yeah, I did test positive. She was like, oh, she was like, because I still fuck with you. So, and I could feel that people were treating me differently. I could feel like bitches who used to speak ain't speaking no more. And I'm like, oh, so I peep game. And you know, at the end of the day, I don't need friends. I have friends. But it's just the point that we're at work 12 to 14 hours a day together. Like, you really think you're gonna be able to avoid me? Y'all have to work with me. And one of the texts was acting like she was just above, like she wouldn't dare open her mouth to speak to me. I'm like, bitch, little do you know, I'm not finna argue with a bitch that I make over $15 more than an hour with you. A pussy hoe could never. No shade to my CNAs, my techs, I love y'all. But we talking about a bitch who could never. Like, we talking about a female, a person who wanted to make it personal. So we can go personal. I'm not finna come off my pedestal to argue or even address anybody who don't even make the same. We're not even in the same pay grade, boom. So, to keep myself calm, I had to text my mom, my sister, and my best friend, and I was like, yo, like, these chicks is acting real funny at work, and they had to bring it back down. And just so happened today is my 6-year nurseversary. So I was like, you know what, Kristen, this just came full circle. You are blessed, baby girl, and don't let the devil trick you out your pivot. So instead of me cussing my co-workers out, I just vented and cursed with y'all. Anyways, I'll see y'all next time. Ciao. Oh, wait. I can't even go because what happened on day 1 was they didn't pay me for the full time that I was out of work. They told me I only had 31 PTO hours. I was out of work 19 days. They only paid me 31 hours. So my check was only $500. Granted, for 31 hours, that was like $900. Out of that $900, they still put money in my 401k. Like they took out my 401k percentage, and I still pay my health insurance. So I'm like, dang, and taxes. So by the time they took like $400 out in taxes. I only came home with like a $500 check. Like, do y'all know the hurt? Granted, it ain't the hurt because, like I already said, I don't know what video gonna come out first. But I've said it previously that I had been starting, once I became a nurse, I started trying to put money away and save. And I have saved up 1 month's worth of bills. So me and my kids would have been good for 1 month. So I wasn't really hurting. Plus I had already was getting paychecks because I was working and up until the day that I tested positive. I mean, not tested positive, but working up until this time. So I still had checks from that. Plus this one was my PTO check. But it was like, dang, good. Thankfully, I had this cushion saved. I didn't blow through my stimulus and all of that stuff because I didn't qualify for any of these programs that they tell you all over the internet that you can get help for coronavirus, for COVID relief. When bitches wouldn't even, I still didn't qualify for COVID relief. So, you know, I was just like, you know what, God, thank you for my health. Thank you for my family's health. Like, I can't even trip over things like the money because my rent still paid. None of my bills got missed. Even though I could probably call like the light people and be like, oh, I don't have the money, and they probably would have excused it. But what's the point in, because they ain't gonna do nothing but just roll the bill or extend it. What's the point of accumulating unnecessary debt when I'm trying to get out of debt to accomplish other things that I'm working on? So I just been still paying my bills because I'm grateful that I'm in a position to still pay them. But anyways, you know, it's all about your mindset. And I've said it about everything that I've gone through. It was about me and my mind, because the physical, time gonna pass. But where you really live is in your mind. That's where your happiness comes from. That's where your peace and serenity come from. So I have to keep it real conscious that you gotta keep a level-headed, girl. Like, don't just get bent out of shape for anything, especially when you don't have to. Yes, I would have loved a full paycheck, but I'm still able to do what I want to do. I'm still able to go where I want to go. My kids still living comfortable. So you know what? I'm back at work and I can start making that money back. Period. Anyways, talk to y'all later. Ciao.